Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of your Astraordinary Coffee Chats. I'm Davide di Censo.
And I am Matteo Barbarossa.
And we are the founders of Astra Coffee. And we're here to make your cup of coffee extraordinary. Today we'll be talking about smell and perception and taste of coffee. Specifically, in a previous episode, Matteo, you talked about specialty coffee. Mm-hmm. And talking about specialty coffee, we went over the idea of grading and scoring coffee and the coffee quality. Mm-hmm. Specialty coffee being 80 plus cupping score. Cupping score sounds like something that professionals do in order to score the coffee and to understand the quality level of the coffee. However, is there something that we can do as common mortals and not professionals that we can do in our everyday lives to enjoy our cup of coffee more, or maybe when we are about to try different types of coffee, or where we are interested in changing to a lighter profile roasting or a darker, something that we can do, or tips and tricks that we can use to understand the difference between different cups of coffee and appreciate different cup of coffees.
Yeah, every coffee lover, every coffee user can have that superpowers that usually the professional have in when it comes to coffee evaluation or apply sensory science to a coffee cup.
Give us some superpowers.
Okay, so you perceive your coffee via your thanks to your brain. Where your mouth and your nose transmit signal to your brain, and your brain can interpret this signal into something that will form an idea of what you'll feel into your coffee cup. But what does it mean, this? This means that your brain will perceive tastes and aroma. What are taste and aroma? Commonly, there is a lot of misuse of these two words, because somebody usually say, my coffee tastes like chocolate. No, do not taste like chocolate. So your coffee have an aroma of chocolate.
I'm guilty of that. I've definitely said that before.
Yeah, you too. You end up in jail. So no, you're not. No worries. So let's define what tastes are and what aroma are. Tastes are salty. That I hope you never find that in coffee.
Salty coffee.
Yeah, salty coffee. It's happened. So it's happened to feel something like that, and it's really unpleasant. There is a bitterness, there is a sweetness, there is a sourness, and the fifth one, there is umami. That is the taste of tasty. But we'll see this later.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. Then it comes to aroma. Aromas could be a lot. Like we can start from bakery aromas, like biscuits, croissants, roasted bread. Then we go to fruity aroma, red fruits, like stone fruits, like peach, apricot, ananas, banana. You can find the banana smell in the coffee. It is great. When it comes to more sour coffee or more acidic coffee, you can spot like pink grapefruit aromas. It is quite a wonderful thing to spot into your coffee, or lime zest. Then you can spot some nutty aromas, like almond, nuts, and something like that. Very, very unique in coffee. And the great aroma of the greatest, like chocolate aromas. There's a lot of coffee.
It's what everybody wants.
Yes, like a lot of coffee, thanks to the roasting profile, have that. So how can you perceive and feel tastes and aromas? So it's really a matter of training and concentration. A professional coffee taster train that a lot, and I do that every time I put something in my mouth. Every time I go to dinner, or every time I put something into my kitchen, when I taste this really quick into my mind, I say, okay, I feel this taste, and I feel the taste, and I feel this aroma. That's it. Boom. Like to keep myself in shape in order to do the work that I do. But the regular user can do this, okay? Like, try to focus a bit and think about these aromas and this taste, okay? Then, take your cup, and the first thing that you can do is bring your cup to your chin, not sink your nose into, but take your cup here and smell. Good. This is the first evaluation. This is the first things that you can do.
So does this mean that we're starting from aromas first?
Yes, totally. We're starting from aromas first. Okay. You smell and try to focus into your brain the first things that shows up to your brain. First, like, okay, what I spot here. I spot milk chocolate, a great milk chocolate bar. I spot something like almond. I spot something like lime zest, something like that. Then it comes to the taste evaluation. For taste evaluation, you have to drink your coffee and inspiring that. So this is not really very fancy things to do, but
so pull some air in.
Pull some air in.
Mouth.
Yeah, because this will help the molecules that stays here around the coffee to pull into your mouth and having a better experience in aftertaste evaluation of your coffee. So you do something like that, and let's try to analyze what my feeling are. So this particular cup of coffee, what I felt it very sweet on the first part of my tongue, because the scent.
Where do you perceive the sweet?
Where you perceive the sweetness
is in the front of
is
your
in
tongue.
the front. Is in the front of your tongue. I felt also a nice hint of bitterness in the back part of my tongue, that is where you feel the bitterness. I felt my tongue stimulated a bit on the sides also. On the sides you feel the sourness on the coffee. So if I have to evaluate this coffee from 1 to 5, let's say, I will say that in sweetness I felt like a 4. This is very sweet coffee. Bitterness, it's 1.5, okay? And sourness, something like 0.5. It was really light, but it was present. It's a very smooth, silky cup, so there is no astringency.
Would you be able to say what is part of the coffee profile, the coffee type, the roasting profile versus the extraction method? What brings these aromas and this taste to the cup? Is that something that we can separate, or is it all blend together, really?
They are all blend together, okay? They're very blend together, but I can say that the 70% relate to the coffee origins that are into your blend.
So in that case, the specific blend.
Yeah, the specific blend. Because if a coffee origin do not really have inside the lime zest, okay, aroma, you can't create it due to the extraction method or roasting method. No, you cannot. So you cannot extract something that is not already present. So you can extract something that is already present.
Or you cannot extract something that is already present.
Yeah,
if you do
totally.
it right.
Totally.
If you do it wrong.
If you do it wrong, yes. Or if you purposely do that because you want to cover that, I don't know, you don't want to feel that kind of thing. So you adjust your extraction method in order to have in your cup something that you had previous in your mind.
That makes sense, yes. So we talked about taste and aromas. How much of that is an objective measurements versus a subjective? I feel like a lot of consumers, a lot of coffee drinkers feel like they might not be able to taste certain things or perceive those aromas, and sometimes they feel like that might not be real. How much is objective of this?
It is quite objective. Perception of coffee, it's a bit of a journey inside of yourself. There are people that are very naturally talented in this. You give them a cup of coffee, yeah, I feel chocolate, yeah, I feel lime zest, yeah, I feel peach, yeah, I can feel also mango and papaya. You say, oh, really? And you try, yeah, there is mango here inside, okay? Because it really comes to an internal connection with your senses. But mostly the professional cuppers are trained to that.
So you can learn.
Yes, totally. It's a matter of training.
That makes sense, yes. Anything else that we should be aware as we drink a cup of coffee to perceive whether we, aside from liking it, obviously, but to perceive the differences between different either blends, roastings, or extractions?
Besides of liking, so what you can do to evaluate a cup of coffee, you can try to divide the perception into good perception and bad perception. What this means? It means good perception. How I feel this cup. I feel it sweet. Yes, it's a good perception. I feel it rich. It's a good perception. I feel it very strong, maybe burned. This is a bad perception. Okay. I feel like the rubber of my motorbike when I go for a ride. This is a bad perception. Okay. I feel it very astringency. My tongue is stuck in my mouth, so I will never go out again. This is a bad perception. Okay, you can try to divide in that, and if so, the number of bad perception are high, maybe you can change your coffee. But if the number of good perception, okay, this cup is very smooth, it's very silky, it's very sweet, I super love it, you can stick to that. Okay, and if you want like a stronger cup of coffee, like a harder cup of coffee, try to go for medium dark. If you want something sweeter, if you want something more balanced, you can go for medium light roast. Just keep in mind that light roast sometimes could be very fruity, very sour, so not everybody likes that. It's very good in my opinion, because some coffee express their best really in light or medium light roasting. But it really depends on tastes, and there is no wrong or right. It's just taste.
That makes sense. All right, thank you so much, Matteo. I learned a lot about how to taste my cup of coffee and how to perceive aromas versus taste. And if you have any questions around how to brew the perfect cup of coffee, we have some of our episodes that are around how to regulate the temperature of the water, how to change the amount of coffee, how to change the type of roasting profile of the coffee you buy in order to obtain slightly different or significantly different sometimes cups of coffee. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again in the next episode of your Astraordinary Coffee Cup. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any questions, post them down here.
And let us know your experience while preparing your coffee with the tips and tricks that we suggested to you.
Also, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button so you can stay in touch.